Sirius, what was something you saw you were definitely not supposed to see?
I found a letter between my parents back when my dad was in the army, and 10 years before I was born, when cleaning out the house. He was saying how they should get a divorce because it just wasn't seeming to work out. 16 years after I was born, they did end up getting a divorce. I've never talked to them about it. Oh man, I'm so sorry I had to go through that, mate. Back in 1997, I started work at a new job and took over the office of a salesman who had recently been fired. I was in IT, using the same computer that had been set up for sales. My first task was to install all the software I'd need. The computer hard drive was almost full, so I poked around and found a ton of folders filled with porn. Went to my supervisor and he said to delete it, warning me that the salesman had been fired for downloading porn. Over the next few weeks, I kept finding secret porn folders on the company's network. Not only had he downloaded enough porn to max out his computer's hard drive, he had the network at about 90% capacity. When I was done deleting all the folders I could find, the server capacity was less than 50%. Dude was seriously addicted to porn. And that's why porn addiction is never a good idea, ladies and gents.
Leaving work late one evening, I saw the HR director and CFO in a dark office shredding papers.
No, that's not a euphemism. I didn't say anything, but quietly walked down the hall. 2 weeks later, we were raided by the SEC and several people were charged with cooking the books. Oh lord, that must have been a really terrible situation. When I was about 16, I was snooping in my parents' wardrobe. Found a diary written by my mother when she was 14, from the year 1970. Read some beautiful and brilliantly written entries about meeting and dating my dad, who was 16 at the time. Had to read a little between the lines in some slightly later entries, as they were written with such flowery language. In one such entry, all of a sudden she discloses that she's had an abortion, performed by my grandfather no less, an anesthesiologist. She never told anyone. Oh, really sad you found out that way, man.
I once arrived early to pick up a girl for her first date. She was renting a small garden apartment behind a bigger house. It was just after dusk and I walked around the corner. The sliding door was standing open and she was inside walking around, brushing her hair, and wearing only her underwear. She didn't see me, so I just walked back around that corner and waited another 10 minutes. When I walked around again, she had a dress on. I never told her. Edit. Since a few asked, the date went well, actually. I only got to see her underwear again several weeks later, so... Got it.
I was in elementary school playing basketball, and I shot the ball, but it ended up going over the fence on the other side, as it was someone's backyard. My teacher requested that after school I knock on the door of the house where the ball had landed to get it back, and so I did. I did not expect a woman wrapped in a towel with one of her nipples revealed to answer the door. I was shocked, but carried on with my mission. For those wondering, she stated she did not have the ball. I found a suitcase full of dildos under my mum's bed when I was 8. I don't think Reddit would really love to know how you found those, or why they're there, so okay. Found out a relative who everyone believes to be filthy rich and always throws extravagant parties, puts his kids in expensive private schools, his wife shopping and eating fine dining, is broke and closets declaring bankruptcy. He's in deep debt, and that he hasn't paid his bills in months, and for what I could see, he owes a loan shark too. Now every time I see him post an invite to my mum, I cringe at the thought of him owing more money. My mum knows, but I never told her. She just knows. David Copperfield show. I was at an angle that allowed me to see the volunteers running out from the stage during a disappearing act. Oh boy, and I guess that would have ruined your show, mate. I definitely shouldn't have seen that. My mum gave me an old laptop of hers when I was about 13, and I was scrolling through some random pics she had left on it of my little brother's football games, and then boom! Nudes of my
mother. Oh, God. Oh, no. Just 2 days ago at a community pool, a teenage couple who entered into the pool area went into the hot tub, stood up to stretch my legs, and looked over to, well, you guessed it, sex in the hot tub. It was midday. I cringed pretty hard, but I laughed even harder when the neighborhood cop showed up. Well, at least you got to see justice handled, eh? Back when I was a teenager, we hosted a New Zealander at our house for a couple weeks. Guy gets to our place after the flight, and about 10 minutes later I'm walking around my house to see where he's at. The door at his room is partially open, and the dude is laying face down on the bed and humping the ever-loving fluff out of a pillow. I backed away slowly like Homer when he saw a pooch cheating on his wife. I felt really bad for the pillow. Edit. For all you asking, no, it was not a wool pillow, and it didn't resemble a sheep. You got that? Okay, good. When I was 11, I walked into my mum's bedroom and saw my mum and her husband doing a 69. We never spoke about it. Years later, when I was 24, she walked into my bedroom and saw my boyfriend naked with a boner. We never spoke about that either. Well, I'm just glad you're from a family that keep their secrets. Good on you, girl. Years ago, a colleague had an old smartphone that he brought in to give another co-worker as theirs broke. The phone was sitting on the new owner's desk, but she hadn't yet tried it out, as it was still charging after months of not being used. We were talking about how cool it was with a co-worker, smartphones were not widespread yet, and I picked it up to see how it felt in my hand. I pressed a button, and the first thing that I saw was a Google search for lump on anus. I quickly put the phone back down. This must have been the last thing he searched for when he last used it a long time ago and totally forgot about it. It's amazing what you find left on old phones. Ah, the memories. Certainly wouldn't want to have one like that, though. My dad's AA chips. Learned it's why my parents got divorced. Proud of him for being in recovery, though. As you should, bud. Even though you had to see them, I'm just glad you're proud of him. As a kid, I saw the scene from Poltergeist where the clown pulls the kid under the bed. My entire bedroom was filled with clown pictures and toys. I was upset. Well, that's the least of your worries, man. Good lord. Borrowed my dad's camera, found out he was gay. I love the simplicity of this comment. I do not possess the necessary linguistic capabilities to properly elucidate the gravity of the experience. I must say it was definitely something I should not have witnessed. My camp counselor's penis. Lock the bathroom door, buddy. I found invitations to my big surprise 18th birthday just lying on the floor for a few weeks before the event. I had to act surprised when the time came to walk through the door to the party, which I did. The only thing is, my twin brother also knew, which I didn't know at the time, and let's just say his acting skills are really bad. So we both found out in different ways about the surprise party, but neither of us knew that we found out about it. So when I walked through the door for the surprise, I could tell from his reaction that he knew. Aww. Well, at least a half of you acted surprised, so half a win? I saw my birthday present in advance. I hated it, and wasn't sure whether to tell my girlfriend as much. In the end, I just used my advance notice to practice a good, genuinely surprised and grateful reaction. We broke up a few months later because we had so little in common. I've since learned that honesty tends to work better if you want a relationship to work long term. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. My supervisor ploughing an operator in the arse in the work showers. He just looked at me and looked back at the dude's head and started going for broke. I left. None of us ever acted like it happened. I've worked in construction and never met an attractive operator or supervisor on a construction site, so I'm just imagining a couple of leathery old men going at it. Oh, I hate you for this. As you should. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to Reddit Originals for more videos like this. We upload a video each day, so stay tuned.